Hello, hello, hello. Happy Black History Month, everybody. My name is Terry Alford, and I am known as the Women's Wealth Strategist, and I am the Vice President of the Dallas Fort Worth Urban League of Young Professionals. On today, I am excited to introduce to some and present to others one of our panelists for our Pop the Balloon Brunch, which will happen this Saturday, February the 8th from 11 to 3 in Dallas, Texas at TK's. I am excited to be here with Dr. Von Eaglin. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. What about yourself?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. So this guy has an incredible bio, and I'm excited to share. I learned that you have a connection to SMU. I actually went to SMU, so I feel like we're part of the Mustang family together.
Really cool. Really cool. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So Dr. Vaughn is a licensed mental health therapist with nearly 20 years of experience. He earned his PhD in counseling from the University of North Texas, where his research focused on couple relationship dynamics. Dr. Eaglin specializes in working with couples, men, young adults, professionals, and athletes, including those in professional leagues like the NFL and the NBA. Dr. Eaglin
Mhm.
works in his private practice and on the Dallas Mavericks Wellness Team, supporting players and staff in addressing mental wellness and personal growth. He is also he also held adjunct professor positions at SMU and UNT and is a sought after speaker known for his engaging workshops and podcasts on relationships and mental health. He is a dedicated husband and father, and he combines his experience, his compassion, and commitment to helping others thrive. On today, we are going to learn the importance of men having strong mental health and how that affects our relationships. So, Dr. Vaughn, please share with us, why is it important for men to focus on their mental health?
Oh, well, that's a really good question. Thanks for that opening. I really appreciate you opening me up. And but in terms of men and mental health, I think that many men don't address a lot of our mental health issues. We don't allow ourselves to experience emotions and become vulnerable in many ways. And there's a trickle down effect because whenever we can't address our emotional issues, we develop certain narratives in our head. And quite frankly, when we talk about men and masculinity in general, I always say that masculinity is not organic, it is highly reactive. So you react to other men inside of your environment to determine how it is you should be a man. And oftentimes we get mixed messages or inappropriate messages or just the wrong messages in terms of what we consider to be masculinity and manhood. And so what I do is help people try to formulate the correct message, try to live more fulfilling lives, try to, be better inside their relationships, not only with other people, but themselves as well.
Yes, I like that. I do believe you have to have a great relationship with yourself
Mhm.
before you can have an amazing relationship with someone else. Now, I did mention that I am known as the Women's Wealth Strategist, and I love speaking about generational wealth, building multi-million dollar legacies. And I feel like in the Black community specifically, like those are great buzzwords.
Mhm.
But would you say that mental health and men's mental health play a great part in our ability to be able to build generational wealth for our children? And if so, how?
Oh, that's a really good question. Actually, my undergrad was in business finance, so you're speaking my language. So
Oh, yes.
I really like talking about money and finance. But when we talk about money, let me just kind of segue a little bit. So it's about what does money mean? Like if I have a couple that comes into my office, we're not arguing about money. We're always arguing about the beliefs, the values, and what something means to them. And so it could mean generational wealth for one person. Oftentimes, money means freedom. I want to be able to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, with who I want to do it with. Or it could mean not only legacy or freedom, it could mean fun, or it could mean status or success. For oftentimes, specifically for men, money does mean status or success or respect because we equate our net worth with our self worth. And having the appropriate views on money, understanding how it works, understanding that it's not necessarily about how much money you make, but more so about your behavior patterns and about disciplining and impulse control. Like there are a lot of things that help you build financial wealth, but oftentimes it starts at the top with men. And hopefully, guys, we have the correct view of how to deal with money, how we need to collaborate with our partners with money. And so if you can do that, then you'll have a better chance of having a successful relationship.
Yes. Oh, you're saying so much that I want to unpack, but I know we don't have all the time today. And ladies and gentlemen, as you are watching, if you hear something that's good, I want you to put a "this is good" in the comment section. If you are watching the replay, I want you to type replay in the comment section. And if you haven't gotten your ticket yet to the event on Saturday, go ahead and get your ticket so you can learn more about what we're speaking on today. So one of the things you said is that men equate their self-worth with their net worth. Like, go deeper into that, please.
Well, I mean, even when a guy meets somebody else, we usually say, "Hey, what do you do?" Because we're trying to size you up in a sense. Now, this is important to women as well. You may hear this inside the workshop or while I'm a panelist, but women date through what's called hypergamy, so they date across and up, and men date through hypogamy, which is called across and down. So a woman usually wants a man who makes as much money as they do, or at least has as much education as they do, and oftentimes men, just by and large in society, we're falling behind. I can give you more detail about that with statistics. However, guys, we need to, okay, well, let's say there are more single women who have homes now than men. For instance, one out of 3 men under 30 live at home. 1 out of 5 men under 30 live at home with their parents. So men adulting and understand, like, I guess women are graduating at a rate of close to 2 to 1 in terms of graduation rates. So African American men specifically are at-risk population, higher education, and so guys, we're not adulting, we're not earning the money we should, we're not building the financial wealth or the legacy that we should, and oftentimes there's the trickle down effect is having more difficulty establishing long-term relationships with women. So those are some of the things that we deal with as men. Hopefully, I can help men understand how to view money. Sometimes when it becomes up in therapy, and then also how to make a game plan for how you can create wealth for yourself, and then again, wealth for your family as well. So.
Oh, I'm so excited about Saturday. Are y'all excited? I'm excited because I heard you say like men like to date like across and down. And people ask me all the time, they're like, "Terry, like, why are you single?" And now I can say, Dr. Vaughn said men like to date.
It's true. It's true.
They don't want it. Look, I'm not gonna do that.
It's true, guys. And then so it gets complicated. It gets complicated because some guys they get intimidated. I mean, every guy's different, So, right? But if you want to go,
Excuse me. So I won't be interviewing you on Saturday.
Okay. All right.
Tiara Daniel, our amazing national programs chair, she's going to be interviewing you. I'm actually going to be interviewing the candidates for our Pop the Balloon segment. And here's the thing with the Pop the Balloon segment, we have some amazing men and women that are going to be on the stage. But when we put the application out there, we had an overwhelming response from women who wanted to participate in single women who are out there looking for love. But we actually had to look for the men. Like, hey, do you want to participate? Do you want to find love?
That's interesting. Right? Go ahead.
So my question is for you in terms of like what you do and how you see families and relationships and dynamics amongst women, or I just want to just say like Black women in general and Black excuse me, men out there. How do you I'm going to say this. Let me say it this way. Let me back up. How important is it for our Black men to spend time and invest money into their mental health so that they can be ready for us? And then on the other side, what are some things that we can do as women who know that the ratios are always off? Even at this event right now, we're looking at the ticket sales. We already know it's going to be more women in the room, but men, we want you there. We want you there. We need you there. We need you a part of these conversations. So how important is it for men to invest in their mental health so that they can be ready for these relationships? And what can we do as women to make sure that we are doing our part to make sure that those men are empowered and men are growing, even when they may be at a disadvantage or they may not have accomplished all the things that we have accomplished in life? I know that's a loaded question, but we got a little bit of we got a little bit of time to try to get it in, Dr. Bud.
Yeah,
Take it aside, somebody may need you. So you blessing people today. You are blessing people today.
I appreciate that. So, this is a very layered question, and I can't necessarily take the time to answer what I believe to be some of the trends. But to answer your first question, is it vital? The answer is yes, unequivocally yes, that men have to address their mental health issues because, again, by and large, we don't come to therapy oftentimes and feeling vulnerable, feeling weak, actually saying that we don't know how to deal with something, giving us ourselves permission to seek help. That's something that we don't normally do. And so it's extremely important because the better insight you have into yourself, the better you can move forward with conviction, understanding what your goal is, what your purpose is, and then even a redefining of masculinity. Oftentimes I may say, guys, when we're growing up, we define masculinity by like, how many women we can be with, or like how much money we have, or, we define masculinity differently as opposed to being responsible, being giving, being compassionate, having emotional intelligence, understanding how to take care of not only ourselves, but our families, as well as our community. And taking on more and more responsibility. So men, we have to, it's vital to not only yourself and not only your family, but the community that we step into the roles that we need to, that we're meant for in many ways. And how can women support them? Oftentimes when men come in, usually some woman in their life has influenced them to come, like the girlfriend or the wife is like, hey, you're crazy, you need to go get some help, or it could be a daughter, or it could be, whoever it is. But usually when men come into my office, oftentimes it's a woman who has, poked and prodded and said, hey, you know what, try to find some help. Now, it's not just it's not just them, but also women need to work at, learning how to communicate with men as well, understanding what we need, understanding how to, meet certain desires we have. And then men, we have to do the same thing. So it's a both and, it's not just a one-sided thing, but oftentimes if both people get help, they can collaboratively work on the relationship. Again, you learn yourself in the context oftentimes of the relationship with someone else. And so yes, so it's both and.
Oh, I know I got 1 minute. I hope I can get one more question in. And he said he doesn't have a lot of time to go deep into it. So I'm asking you all to get your tickets on Saturday. Do I have time for one more question?
Let's go with one more. So.
One more question. So you did speak about your background with money and finance. And when people hear the word therapy, they usually associate like trauma with it. But I don't hear enough people speak about like money trauma. Right. And so in regards to money trauma, how does money trauma typically play a role when you see a married couple come to you and they speak about their marital issues? Like, how often do you recognize that there may have been like a history of money trauma, or they may have grown up with different mindsets around money? How does that play a part in their relationships and their marital issues?
Oh, you can definitely commit financial infidelity. There are many ways that you can commit infidelity within your relationship. And like I said before, we're not talking about money. We're talking about what money means. Because whereas for men, oftentimes it means success or status or respect, or it could just mean being a good provider. I got to make sure I take care of my woman and, get these kids through college. Oftentimes for women, money means safety or security. And so we're not talking about money, but if they have an issue with money, oftentimes it relates to trust. And so money was just the thing that happens to come up in terms of the violation in trust. So you didn't pay the bills, or you mismanaged the money, or you took out a credit card, or you were impulsive with this, or it could be the opposite, where someone is unwilling to give and they're a miser and they're stingy or they're selfish, or a lot of different issues come up when we talk about money. But again, it is not the money, it is what money means. Oftentimes there's an emotional injury, some violation in trust, and money just happened to be what the issue was in that regard. So it could be, again, violations in trust can come in many different forms in a relationship, though. So hopefully that gives a little bit of insight into the money aspect. Is really about trust.
Oh, you gave me a lot. I've never heard of financial infidelity. I've never heard of that. And I heard you say a couple of times, it's not about the money, it's what the money means. You gave so many great tips. Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to purchase your ticket for Saturday's Pop the Balloon Brunch. We will have a live Pop the Balloon experience, and then we're going to have experts that are going to help us in our love relationships and also just relationships with each other. Thank you so much for being here with us, Dr. Vaughn. Tell us how we can find you, or if someone wants to have a conversation with you or consultation with you, how can they get connected with you?
Oh, it's Dr. Vaughn Therapy. So if you want to find me on Instagram, it's DRVON Therapy. And same thing with my website, Dr. Vaughn Therapy. And you can find me drvauntherapy.com or Dr. Vaughn Therapy on IG.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Vaughn. Thank you all for watching. Please, if you know someone needs to hear this, share the video, like it, comment on it, and I will see you all again soon. Thank you very much. Adios.